Lead us and guide us. In Jesus' name we pray.
Good morning. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin.
Good morning once again. I just want you to take a few minutes and 1 minute, in fact, just 1 minute. 1 minute with your neighbor. Find out from your neighbor one thing they remember from yesterday's sessions. With your neighbor, 1 minute. What do they remember from yesterday's sessions? One thing that stood out for them. 1 minute. The sessions that were there that stood out for them throughout the day, one thing. Tell them to make it one. I know people have a way of making one thing into a paragraph. Just one thing. After this, sit there and finish. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yesterday, we were looking at practice, innovation, and partnerships. It was a very good day. And this day, we want to be interactive. We want to partner as we do this recap this morning. And I want us to be brief. We don't have a lot of time. We have some microphones here. Yesterday, we had, when we started in the morning, we had a keynote address from UNICEF. And then we had a study from Laura on transformative systems in ECD. And then we had a plenary session. I just want to find out from us, just 2 people only, what they remember from the morning session. One on the UNICEF address, keynote address from UNICEF, and secondly from the study on transformative systems in ECD. We'll have 1 comment from this group and 1 comment from this group. Microphones, please. Somebody can help me so we can move the microphones. Please raise your hand so that we can know who's going to respond. Thank you. That gentleman, you will speak to us about the keynote address from UNICEF. That would be good. I see a gentleman hand there. Just 1 quick comment. From this side, 1 hand. No hand from this side. Thank you. Just briefly.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, please say your name briefly and then what you remember. That would be enough.
Yes, my name is Omar Kofa Komora. What I remember is Walter Robert, that is from UNICEF, took us through. It was so nice, and I think all of you remember how Robert was able to work very well with the national government and the county government. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. All right. Thank you. That is what he said in the afternoon, but that's okay. Nonetheless, we had also an early keynote address from UNICEF. Any other comment from here on the mathematical study, transformative systems in ECD? I see no hand from this end. We will move that opportunity to the people in the middle. I see a hand at the end. Thank you very much.
On transformative system on ECD. My name is Ibrahim Surawadan from Mandera. On transformative system on ECD, Madam Laura has taken us through diagnostic study on 3 countries, Kenya, Tanzania, and Mozambique. And she categorically said that Kenya is doing well in ECD, but more needs to be done. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Then we went into breakout sessions, which we went in our different rooms. We had one breakout session on vulnerable to valuable sustaining ECD systems. We had another one on strengthening ECD systems, one on leveraging ecosystems for children's development. Then we had also another fourth one on equity, diversity, inclusivity in the implementation of nurturing care. Then after that, we had a special documentary on voices from the ground. And then we had one quick one, parallel session, led by Dr. Benta Owino. I want to hear from us what we remember from that session, that we had. There were two parallel sessions, one by Dr. Olumbe, another one by Dr. Benta Owino. Is there anyone who was in a parallel session that was being led by Dr. Benta Owino? Any member from us? Benta Owino? Any person from there? Aha, anybody who was in the group by Dr. Olumbe? Any member? I want just one quick comment from there. We didn't attend any parallel session? None of us? None of us attended any parallel session? Oh, this is interesting. Was there anyone who attended a parallel session by Dr. Olumbe? In this group, in this meeting here? In this room, it was here, in Swara. There was? Was there any? Class is quiet. Everybody is quiet. In those old days, wangesema simameni nyote, kiboko kinakuja. Nowadays, we can't do that. So anybody who was in the parallel session by Dr. Olumbe? One quick, yes, please. Thank you very much. One quick comment from you.
I was at the panel, so I can't even go.
Oh, you were part. Please, you can say one or two comments from your panel. Thank you. Okay. Microphone.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, it was a good presentation, and it was there was a discussion from a research by professor from Kenyatta University, based in Tharaka-Nithi, and it came to light that there is a good project that is going on in Tharaka-Nithi. We also had another presentation about nurturing care in terms of the Kuakocha campaign, written and supported by UNICEF and Minister of Health. So, and the discussion was lively. But I'm disappointed that there was nobody who is in this room for that. I think they've been the best people to comment.
Okay, thank you very much. Just two last points. We had another quick one, another session in the afternoon, read by Professor Amina Abubakar on advancing climate resilient early childhood systems. I want to hear one comment from us, and then we will close. I want one hand from the middle now. If you were in that session, Professor Amina, who was leading us on advancing climate resilient early childhood systems through policy innovation and sustainable solutions, this is your chance, this middle row. Thank you very much. At least we have a lady now commenting. Just briefly.
Yeah, good morning. One of the things that I took away yesterday was the statistics that Prof was able to share, that there are 12 million children that are actually at risk of climate-related issues. So I think that is something to think about and to work on. Thank you.
Thank you very much. How many people went to the gallery walk? Gallery walk. There's a gallery walk. Ah, thank you. I saw one person. Yeah, thank you. Another one, yes. Please tell us very briefly what you found from the gallery walk.
Thank you very much. At the gallery walk, I was able to go to several points. Yeah. And at Save the Children, I realized that they do several programs, some that are also climate related, and also on child development. They are very strong. I also went to Kidogo. Kidogo also, I saw several things. And I went to the Tharaka-Nithi one, and I saw the innovation on child playing toys that are made from locally available materials. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Those are the booths. Thank you very much. Those are the booths that are there at the back. If you haven't been there, please make sure you also pass there and see what they are presenting, what they are sharing with us. But did anyone go to the gallery walk? Gallery walk where there are people with posters, they explain very briefly. If you didn't go there, you need to go there today so that they can be able to explain to you what they have done. It was a great day. We look forward to another beautiful day today. Today we'll be looking at strategy, commitment, and closure. That's the main things that we'll be doing today. I know that we have online presenters already lined up, and I know that we have our lead moderator today here with us, but I want to hand over to the chair so that we can carry on with the rest of the program for today. Otherwise, thank you very much for the great work that you have done. Please, jitayarishe kama ulikuwa kwenye session yoyote jana, umechangia leo yale ambayo tulizungumzia jana, jitayarishe mikono yako vyema tu, tunataka tusherekee, tuwape hongera wale wote ambao wameshiriki katika leo asubuhi na jana. Tayarisha mikono yako vyema, twende mwaka moja. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Good morning, everyone. Am I audible? Yes. Bwana Abdullahi, I don't know if you're in the room. Abdullahi Maalim is not in the room yet. So Sally is also not in yet. So I'll take charge of this session and take us through the program first of all so that we are all aligned. We've had the summary brief of day 2. Now we are going into keynote address, and the keynote address is going to come to us from the country director of Save the Children. It will be a virtual conversation with us, and as we set up the screen, we will allow for her to join us in the next few minutes. After that, we will have a panel session, and this panel session is one that will be led by Dr. Anil, and Dr. Anil is already in the room. I can see that the chairs for the panelists are already here. We will be looking at enhancing inclusive and equitable early childhood development systems, strengthening early childhood development systems, designing sustainable early childhood development programs in Kenya, and then also moving to from knowledge to nurture, leveraging behavioral science in gender transformative parenting support, which will come from the ICS team. So after that, we will have a session very briefly with the KU team, and Professor Onywere will have a few minutes just to be able to share with us what they're doing with the randomized control trial that has been going on. And then we will move into panel session 2, and this will be chaired by Dr. Silas Onyango. Silas, are you in the room? Ken, you can let him know that we are moving with time, so he should be here. So we will be evaluating healthcare workers' capacity, promoting mental health and well-being in caregiving environments. We will talk about food insecurity, which increases the risk of depressive and anxiety symptoms. And then we will also look at the intersection of programmatic interventions and community involvement, the nexus on the effect of between the effect of maternal empowerment, nutrition status and school readiness. And then we will also have a session on transformative partnerships, which will then lead us to a tea break today. We will actually want to have that tea break. And then after the tea break, we will come back. There's a commitment wall. I don't know where it is. I have not seen it. All of us are supposed to have put something on the commitment wall. Judy and the team, where is the commitment wall? Judith, where is the commitment wall? Is it? You will be sharing it. All right, so that will be shared. I hope it's a virtual one. So it's a virtual wall. So those of us who have our phones, our laptops will be given a link to that. And then we will have the closing plenary. I am doubtful that we will have any entertainment, but we shall move on to the reflections, looking at voting for the next host county I am hoping that there will be a next host county, and that is going to happen soon. And then we will have a vote of thanks and closing remarks before we end the day. We are making this commitment as the organizers of this conference that at 1 o'clock there shall be no one in this room.
Thank you so much.
Sasa, that's a commitment. So it's going to be a running session, and please keep to time. I'll be sitting here, but Amalim, if time is not on your side, it will not be on your side. And for that reason, this media team, I'm actually waiting for you to tell me that your screen is not upside down. We need to have the country director's remarks now. Dennis, is the link ready? Has she gotten it? She has the link. I think I would want us to move into this session. Maalim, I was standing in for you because I know that you're supposed to lead this. So could you kindly come and introduce the country director, Save the Children, to make her keynote speech or keynote address, and then we move into the panel. And the panelists, please, if you are in the room, kindly work with time. We need to be able to move. Bana Maalim, please.
Okay, thank you so much. Can we abstain, please? We are going home, right? And when children are going home, what happens normally? When the midterm break is close, what normally happens? People don't even sleep the preceding night, right? So can we create the mood of being on a break? We can abstain, please, 1 minute. Just 1 minute only, not 2. Alafu, as we stand up, we reflect for a second, thinking on what we will be putting on the virtual wall. So think about it. Talk to yourself. Do self-reflection. Think about what we will be putting in that wall, right? And it must be of value to our children. Thank you so much. You can sit. And the other request I will make is, please, let us come closer. You are very far back, and the front seats are empty. Let us give the essence of a full room. So those of us who are at the end, let us please come to the front. So with those few regards, and with the advice of the Save the Children team, I want to take this early opportunity to welcome our country director, Save the Children, to talk about safeguarding the rights and well-being of children, young children. We are aware Save the Children, UNICEF, these are organizations that have really done a lot in terms of children issues globally. I know Save the Children also co-chair Education in Emergencies Committee in the country, together with the Ministry of Education. So we cannot really talk about the good work Save the Children has been doing all through, as the name suggests. I have been privileged to have worked with them for some time through successive country directors, including Esther Arunga and the former groups. And I know they are very passionate about bringing the best change in our girls and our children and our boys and everybody. So Patrice is our country director. Ready? Okay. She's coming in. Okay. Okay, please welcome. And in front of you are the panelists who are really very excited to hear from you. Thank you so much and welcome on board. Thank you. Can we clap for her, please? Okay.
Thank you. Just want to test the audio. Can you hear me? Yes. So, good morning, everyone.
Morning to
I would
you.
like to, of course, address the members of the First Ladies Association, the county representative from Garissa County, the chairperson and national coordinator of the ECD Network Kenya, and our esteemed partners, representatives from civil society organizations and academia present today. Ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed, good morning. It is my privilege to have the opportunity to make this remark and a keynote speaking today to address to this remarkable occasion of the 6th National ECD Stakeholder Conference that gives national stakeholders the opportunity to really come together for reflection, for learning, and also for committing to action for ECD initiatives in Kenya. Protecting children's development is paramount to fostering a safe and thriving society. Kenya is considered a very youthful nation as children comprise of 42.3% of population, almost half the total population of the country, with significant portion of its populations being under the age of 18. This fact emphasizes the need to respond and also to ensure that definitive steps are taken to ensure of the well-being and rights of children are upheld and enforced. As a country, we have made really great stride on enhancing legislative and structural frameworks that actually have mandate in delivering for children. We also have in place a comprehensive Children's Act 2022 that was enhanced to address emerging issues affecting children, including the online abuse, radicalization, child trafficking, as well as establishing the Child Welfare Fund, among other initiatives and advancements. The government has also shown huge commitments and enhanced structures that are mandated on children's welfare and matters, such as the recent establishment of the State Department of Children's Welfare Services under the leadership of the Honorable P.S. Karen Akango. However, there are still a lot of challenges that poses great threat to safeguarding and well-being of children across the Kenya. According to Kenya Demographic and Health Surveys, or KDHS, in 2022, 18% of children under the age of 5 actually are stunned due to chronic malnutrition. Thousands of children are still exposed to violence and abuse, harmful practices, lack of parental care, and also sexual exploitation. According to reports by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, 46% of young women and 52% of young men in Kenya experience violence during childhood. Child marriage affects 23% of girls and 21% of women have undergone female genital mutilation. Children are also face specific risks during and after emergencies, such as floods, droughts, conflicts, and epidemics. Children in Kenya are also affected by emerging threats for children, including online abuse and exploitation. Regarding education, it is also reported that only 30% of children aged 3 to 5 attended early childhood education programs. In some counties, fewer than 1 in 3 preschool-age children are enrolled in early learning services. According to a report by UNICEF, 57% of 10-year-old children in Kenya cannot read or understand simple sentences. Save the Children has responded to these challenges and realities through our visions and as articulated in our country's strategic plan 2025 to 2027 of a world in which our children can survive, learn, and be protected. In 2024, we have, together with our partners and stakeholders and communities that we work with, have reached over 695,000 children and families directly across Kenya and Madagascar. With the integrated programs to be focusing on health, nutrition, water sanitation and hygiene, education, child protection, and also food security, livelihoods, and climate change. Through our child protection interventions, we have managed to strengthen prevention of children abuse and response mechanism. We have applied innovations such as Meoni Matani, a community-based reporting platform for child rights violation. We are also working with the government in the development and rollout of the positive disciplined manual for basic learning institutions, equipping teachers and caregivers with non-violent child-centered approaches to discipline. Despite all these interventions and those of others that our partners and stakeholders have been working on, we acknowledge that many challenges for children remain unmet and still require our urgent attention. Safeguarding children require a multifaceted approach focused on protecting their well-being and ensuring that their rights are upheld and protected. It involves creating a safe environment, preventing harm and promoting positive development, encompassing both preventative measures and interventions when necessary. It also involves taking practical and pragmatic actions that protect children from abuse and neglect, and also taking appropriate actions when necessary, identifying and addressing potential risks and threats to our children, and also recognizing and respecting children's rights, and ensuring that their access to basic needs are upheld. But safeguarding the rights and well-being of children goes beyond protection system. In practical terms, it also means that ensuring access to clean water, quality health care, nutritious food, mental health support, and safe space to learn, and most importantly, access to quality education from the early childhood. Safeguarding the rights and well-being of children also is not an individual effort. The theme of the conference, promoting transformative systemic change in a child's ecosystem, can only be achieved by collective actions of parents, caregivers, educators, and healthcare professions and the broader community surrounding the children to take decisive actions to ensure of children's safety, well-being, and protection from harm in a safe and conducive environment. At Save the Children, we remain committed to working with children, their communities, and our partners to discover new innovative solutions to ensure that the world's most vulnerable children realize their fullest potential. We congratulate the ECD network on convening the 6th National Conference and achievement of its 10th anniversary. This is added as a testament of commitment of the network in fostering the multi-stakeholders and multi-sectoral collaborations that will ensure children in Kenya can grow, learn, flourish, and thrive to their fullest potential. Thank you so much. I wish all of us to have a very good deliberation. Asante sana for having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Pon Panjip, the country director, Save the Children, for the very wise words. And I'm sure you are hearing a lot of statistics from the KDHS and other related issues. One thing that really we should be mourn is, according to the KDHS, 18% under the age of 5 have chronic malnutrition, exposed to harmful practices, including even sexual exploitation. It's not a very encouraging statistics. So we are very thankful for that very wise words coming at the tail end of the workshop. It will be part of the reflections and a takeaway for us. It's now my humble duty to request Dr. Anil Khamis to come over the next session to at least lead this panel. Dr. Anil is a well-acknowledged scholar. He has many publications in his name, and he's a roving lecturer globally. So he's a man I respect, and when you see him, he's not a small man to come and address this. We appreciate you, and we thank you for that.
Assalamu alaikum. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. We're going to move this extremely quickly today. So panelists, Amina, Mwitu, you guys know who you are, so come on up quickly. Harrison Kamau, Janet Mwitiki. Is Janet here? I don't see. Haraka kidogo. And Josephine Odiambo. Where is Josephine? Okay, so as panelists take their places, I'm going to say 3 things about them. Amina Mwitu, everybody knows. She's with Aga Khan Foundation East Africa. She leads on early childhood development across Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania. Harrison Kamau is with the Madrasa Early Childhood Program. He's a monitoring and evaluation specialist. Dr. Janet is here. She's with Education Development Trust. She's been introduced many times, but the main thing is that she's very interested in the power of play for promoting quality. Josephine is here. Josephine, is that you?
Yes.
Hi. She's the program coordinator for investing in children and their societies, ICSP. And is Joan here? Do you know? Joan? Okay, Joan is not here. Okay, so it's my humble pleasure to say that we have 3 parameters in this panel. Parameter 1 is around policy implementation frameworks. That is what is common to all of your papers and your abstracts. Parameter 2 is the inclusion that we are now moving towards in the ASL areas. Where are we in the counties and the inclusion agenda? And the third thing that I think is probably the most critical is how is children's representativeness and stakeholder engagement really there? And I'm particularly wanting to highlight the question that after COVID and the environmental shocks we've had, the question around teenage pregnancies is very critical, right? So, ladies and 1 gentleman, plus our sign language translator, who's also a gentleman, you exactly have 2 minutes. And if you don't stay in your 2 minutes with the first person, I will summarize their paper. Thank you. Amina, Bismillah.
Can you say that again?
Can you summarize 2 main points in your paper in 1.5 minutes?
Thank you very much. Amina Mwitu from Aga Khan Foundation.
Sorry, Amina, let me stop you. I know people here can't see very well the panel, so if you're happy to move here, please, because otherwise your view is blocked. And there's lots of space here. Thank you.
Yeah, so basically what I wanted to share is how, as Aga Khan Development Network, we have been working in the ECD sector over time and how we have been measuring systematic impact in early childhood development and particularly using both qualitative and quantitative indicators. And I thought this is very important to share because sometimes we struggle in terms of when it comes to how we adapt global indicators and contextualizing them in our local context. So in our approach, we do not just work with one size fits all, but we endeavor to work with the local communities, aligning with national standards to ensure that whatever indicators that we develop really speak into the local context and culture and are responsive to the local needs. Thank you. 30 seconds.
Wow, fantastic. Joan. Sorry, Joseph.
Yes.
Josephine.
Yes. Thank you so much. So this is investing in children and their societies. We are implementing a parenting program targeting adolescent mothers. So basically for this, we were implementing the behavioral science in early childhood development with a keen focus of influencing the parental engagement of the adolescent girls. And we were aiming at looking at increase in caregiver interactions with the adolescent mothers during their daily routines. Because one of the behavioral change that we were able to identify majority of the adolescent girls do not engage on interactive play with their children during daily routines because there are issues of burden of care in terms of dilemmas on what they're supposed to do. So we were able to co-create together with the adolescent girls in terms of what really works for them and what are those nudges that can really influence their interactions with their children on daily basis. So for this, we were able to look at what do they usually use on a daily basis when having their interactions, when they're doing their chores. And there was the baby beeps and the branded baby bucket, where we were able to integrate key messages from the girls themselves using key drivers of influence like emotions, nostalgia, just being able to remember when they were young and their parents were able to sing some songs to them, what that really meant to them and how it made them feel. So those key drivers of influence have really supported in terms of ensuring adequate engagement of these adolescent girls with their children. And one of the key things that we were able to also see from the branded buckets, they use it to wash their clothes, bath the babies. So whenever the child was able to spot the colorful images in that bucket, they would make some sound. And when they make those sound, the adolescent girl is able to look at the child and the back and forth conversations begin. And they found this to be very routinely, and now they're able to engage more in terms of active play, singing with their children as they continue with their daily chores. Thank you.
Thank you, Josephine. Can you help us understand what we mean by behavioral science principles?
One of the key things in terms of behavioral science, these are some of the nudges that would really trigger an engagement with a child or between a caregiver and a child. For example, the behavioral science driver of influence like salience. So if you look at salience, these are visuals that really resonate with the adolescent girl's environment or the caregiver environment. For example, the beeps, they were visually available within the household environment where they were, so it was easy for the adolescent girls to connect with that particular kind of an image. And also in terms of the aspects of norms, when they are able to co-create together in terms of the messages and also deciding on the specific nudges they're supposed to use, that really led to the peer level engagement, and they were able to normalize that kind of behavior.
Thank you, Josephine. If you allow me, I think it's very important we think through behavioral science. Behavioral science, the father of whom is Daniel Kahneman, who was actually a psychologist who won the Nobel Prize for Economics. And it's about where we think we are in terms of decision making, in terms of what is left. So I think the issue around vulnerable adolescents and children, they have their whole life ahead of them. Just because they're parents doesn't mean that that defines them for the rest of their lives. So we can go a bit more into that later if there is time. Harrison.
Yes. Good morning. Yes, MESEPK is here today to demonstrate lessons learned from implementing an innovation called Play and Learn. And Play and Learn was simply an initiative that was geared towards supporting the caregivers to deliberately play with their children, aged 2 to 5 years, at the household level. So at the core of this innovation, we had development of HPLK kit, and HPLK kit is simply home play and learning kit. And look at this kit as simply basket with assorted play materials for caregivers to use together with their children during the playful interaction. The second bit was around support to these caregivers at the household level using the community facilitators. As simple as that.
That's it?
That's
wow.
it.
Fantastic. Okay. Madam Janet.
Yes, good morning, everyone. Yes, my name is Janet, and I am here to present a project called Inspired. And Inspired is an acronym that says strengthening of policy implementation to reduce education disparities. This project we are implementing in the 2 counties of Wajir and Mandera, and we are doing this through a consortium of 5 organizations, that is AKF, Site Savers, WPDA, which is a local implementing project, and VOPA. And above that, it is spearheaded by the Minister of Education, both at the national level and the county level. The implementation of the Inspired program is based on 3 main components. When you come to the first component, the first component is about technical assistance on looking at the policies, and especially policies that are interrelated to foundational learning. And then the second component is the aspect of improving the quality of early learning to improve access and equity, and specifically on the 4 and 5-year-olds, because we are working with public ECD centers that are supported by the government. Last but not least, the third component is about evidence. We are looking at improving the policies and also improving the quality of access through evidence generation through the 2 counties. For the aspect why we are for this today is about component 2, which is more about the aspect of getting into improving the quality and also support from the government, for the policies. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Janet. I hope you've got your questions ready. We'll take 3 questions from the floor. As you get your questions ready, 3 things are striking me, okay? And you may not like it. The first thing is what I heard from Dr. Farah yesterday, Idli Farah. ECD is not a charity thing, okay? It should be part and parcel of the provision of the state. You guys are not the state. Point 1.
We are not.
Okay? Okay, but they are not the state. Point 2 is that what I've heard is that all of you are involved in this in the long term, but with internal and external partners. Is it their business? Question 2. Question 3. Materials are not there, and you are providing materials. Whether those are the kits Josephine is talking about, whether those are the play materials, and whether that is the quality and the dialogue questions that you guys are talking about. So the first question in my head, really, is how do we know the work that they're doing is actually working to improve? And I know, Amina, you've got lots of research over the last 40 years. It's there. How are those lessons going to apply to our context that we're interested in now, where there is exclusion? Madame Janet, you're talking about levers of change and effectiveness and quality. I want to know what mechanisms really work in our context, which is diverse. Yesterday, or day before, Madame Martha from the national government told us that we have a designed curriculum, that we have to have standards, that we have quality. Is quality applicable everywhere all at the same time? It's a question we have to ask. And then the final bit is really the international community, our donors are telling us repeatedly, where is the scale? Where is the from pilot to scale? A pilot and the mechanisms of the pilot are not the same as scale level. So one of the questions I think that came up yesterday, I wanted to tell Munaweza, but he didn't give me a chance to speak, was to say that do we have a unit cost per child? As our PS told us, 67% of children apparently have access, 33% don't. If we're going to reach the 33%, what is the resource outlay that we need, and can you guys do it? So I'll ask each of you to respond and comment on whatever I've said, and then we'll take some questions from the audience. Please, Bismillah. Who wants to go?
Bismillah. Yeah, I'll go first. Thank you very much. Yeah, we are not the state, and probably I can say that we are happy we are not the state because of the huge responsibility. The huge responsibility that is on the state to ensure that, we are socially, economically, politically, everything. But I want to assure you that we work with the state and within the state to ensure that the children, the communities are able to get better services. So we do complement quite a lot in terms of what the state intends to do. One, we do hold consultative meetings and conversation with our state colleagues, whether at national level, at county level, to deeply understand what the issues are on the ground, to be able to sit with them, to identify, prioritize, because sometimes these issues are many. So we need to prioritize and say, you know what, this is top on our list, and this is what we need to really focus on, maybe in the short and long term. We also do a lot of joint planning to be able to ensure that we are able to bring our resources, whether technical, financial, organizational, together to be able to develop whatever activities that we want to do and ensure effectiveness and efficiency across the board. We also work with the state and also the local communities to ensure that we contextualize whatever programs. As AKDN, AKF, we might have initiatives or pilots that we have done elsewhere or we are adapting from across the globe, but we want to make sure that they relate to the local needs and local context. So how do we contextualize them to ensure that they are low cost, they are cost effective, and also ensuring that they are sustainable. Whether we are there in the short and long term, the government and the local communities will be able to proceed and sustain them over time so that the gains for the children and communities are able to be felt in the short and long term. So those are some of the approaches, but we don't just stop at planning. We also do a lot of joint implementation. So if we are working with the frontline workers, for instance, whether in health or education, we make sure we work together. If we have to conduct capacity building directly or bring somebody else, to do the capacity building to ensure that the structures that are there, the people who are there, have the competencies to be able to deliver, they're able to do that. We also do a lot of joint monitoring with our government colleagues or with our state colleagues to really be able to take stock of what we are doing. Is it working? And how is it working? If it's not working, why isn't it working? And how do we move on from there? So it's not just an issue of implementing and going, but continuously reflecting on what we are doing to ensure that we are getting everything right. We are long-term when we do our work, so it's not like we are project-based. So we ensure that we are able to build over and over in terms of what we are doing so that we are able to see the outcomes and impact in the long term. I want to stop there for now.
Thank you.
Yes, let me respond by saying that our focus was to impact on around 200,000 children and mostly 100,000 from the desperate places or the vulnerable area. Currently, since we started the implementation in the month of April, we have been able to reach 64,304 learners in both counties. And this has been possible because we have a local partner in the consortium who is doing the implementation and much of the coordination, and the co-designing of every activity from the initial level to where we are has taken charge of the county government has taken charge with the national government. For the component 2, that's more about the improvement of the quality of access. The leading team has always been at the county level, where the government at the county level, ECD department has taken the lead. Not forgetting about that, we are really making use of the community structures that are already existing. Because being in the community, they know the needs better and they understand better. And one of the unique things I must say of the program was bringing in the integration of the DUCSI and also the Madrasa and play-based learning to the competency-based. So we have been working in every step with the community. The national government takes its toll, and then we get to the cascading. We developed a model where we have used the sub-county coordinators, ECD, to do the capacity building and then also do the teacher mentorship and coaching so that they take more planning. Issues to do with budget, we've also been able to work with them in developing or coming up with samples of learning play materials. We give the starter kit, or we provide the starter kit together, and then we go and in the community to work with them and working with the ICs. We call them the instructional coaches, who are able to support them in using the local materials within their area so that they can identify themselves with that. I think that's basically what we have. And I must acknowledge that through issues to do with the policies, we have been working with the national government also to promote or to develop the foundational learning guidelines for children in the early years. And also in the aspect of working with the national government again to improve on the KISRAT tool that is for assessment of learning. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I would love to respond to beyond pilots. And some of the good practices that maybe we can use to help scale an innovation beyond its pilot are, number one, the use of the design thinking process. In this case, and in the case of Play and Learn, we co-designed the HPLK kits I mentioned earlier together with the caregivers, making them to own this particular innovation and use them within their household level. Number two is the use of the low-cost teaching and play materials, which are locally available within the environment, which made it easier for caregivers to collect them and then transform them into states that they may be useful for them to play with their children. Then another good practice that I would want to share with us is the continuous mentorship and support of these caregivers at the household level. And like I had earlier talked about, we engage the community facilitators to do random visits to these particular caregivers to see how they are playing with their children. Are they replenishing these materials? What are the challenges that they are facing? And this one helped us to document a lot of motivation and change in attitude from the caregivers, which was good. Then another approach that I would love to share with us for scale is the leveraging of government partnership. Like Amina had already alluded to, we normally talk to the government and we use them as our main point of entry. We work together with them in also co-designing this particular innovation, and they help us to do continuous mentorship, support, and so on. Yeah, thank you very much.
Great, thank you. And I think there's a lot of government engagement and partnerships coming across. So equally for investing in children and their societies, for this particular intervention that we are doing, we are working closely with the county government of Kakamega, and it's a multi-sectoral approach where we've involved the social services unit, both from national and the county government, and we are able to co-create together. Like, for example, the adolescent mothers that we are working with, we were able to bring them on board, designed the tools together, and also decided on which design was going to work with them, and involving also the community leaders, because in every community that we work in, the social norms or the cultural issues they differ. So it's good for us to also involve the community in terms of co-designing some of these behavioral interventions that are really meant to spark behavior change within the household levels. And being that some of these nudges that we've been able to bring on board alongside the working together with adolescent girls, this has really created some of the micro interactions between the adolescent girls and their children within the household, and this has now been normalized within the community. And existing government structures like the community health promoters, the lay volunteer counselors, they're able to conduct home visits at the household level and just ensure there is enforcement of some of these tools while they are able to interact with their children. And part of this is also the fact that we are doing supportive supervision, where the county leadership is also doing supervision of the community, the frontline workforce, to ensure the enforcement of some of these tools that have been contextualized to the level of the adolescent girls and also the caregivers, which is really working in terms of also review meetings together with them, what is working, what is not working. And also in addition to that, there is the dialogue sessions at the community level, using some of these drivers of influence, like the norms and also the emotions aspect of it, to really ensure behavior change is also synchronized within the specific cultures of those communities we work with.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Good. We have some time for questions. Again, direct question and to the person. Ya Sheikh. Bismillah. The mic is behind you.
Thank you. My question is directed to SPIAD. Strengthening policy implementation to reduce education disparities. I would like to know how SPIAD is planning or has ensured there will be no disparity in terms of curriculum implementation, budgeting or financing, school attendance, participation, school enrollment age. Because if you look at the school enrollment age of, for example, Garissa.
Thank you. You've asked your question.
Yeah. So how are you planning to ensure that there'll be harmony in that?
Sally, there's a question there, gentleman behind you.
Good morning. When I look at the discussion which is going on here, I usually relate with the county I come from, Tana River. And today in the morning, I was watching Citizen TV, and I saw Turkana and West Pokot. There is war going on there at the border. Now, based on this good discussion going on today, it is the third day, I have this question to Amina. How can we ensure that the transformative systemic change being discussed actively dismantle existing barriers to inclusion of all children, particularly those from marginalized communities and children with disability, and also those who are facing conflicts and in the affected region there. Thank you so much.
Thank you. One question from this side of the room with the ladies there. Yep. In all fairness, we should have another question from the ladies on this side.
Thank you so much. I'm asking this question goes to the Inspired. How are we merging these policies so that there is no big difference, especially in the national government and the county government? How are we merging these policies?
Thank you. Any female there with a question? Nope, sorry. Okay, Dr. Janet, 2 questions for Inspired.
Yes, thank you so much for your questions. And I want to start with the first one that was asking about how we're going to make sure that we don't move away from the quality. I must say that this project is spearheaded by the government, the Minister of Education, and we have all the involved stakeholders, including KICD, NACONEC, and NEC. All partners are coming in through the government administration. And I must say that we started with them from the initial stage of co-creating whatever we wanted to do. So there is no way we can just kind of come with our own product and say this is what we are doing. And even in the aspect of rationalization of the CBE that has been approved, that is exactly what we are using. The only thing we are bringing in is the complementing it with the play-based approach and the madrasa. The aspect of age. Thank you so much for being cognizant, because, like, I've been visiting the ECD centers in Wajir, and I know it's a challenge, but the best part of it is because we are working with the community on the ground, and we've been discussing about how can we help these children as they go. They attend the Duksi and Madrasa, that they don't also lose the opportunity for attending the early years. So that is the big negotiation that we are talking with, especially right now in Mandera and Wajir. And last week we were on the ground and we are seeing a positive change, like looking at how do we get an ECD teacher who has Duksi, and then we also make use of the early learning opportunity, not to get lost, and also make use of the Duksi. That's very important in the community. And the second question was about managing the policies. Again, the policies are not managed by Inspired. It's led by the national government. I don't know whether Director Mother was here. They're the ones who are leading the discussion about the policies. For us is to collaborate or with the government to see what insights do we have that would love being incorporated in such policies. So the government is taking the lead, and they know what policies. Ours is to give a contribution and support where we can be able to give our technical support as far as that one is concerned. Thank you.
Thank you. Amina?
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Komora from Tana River. I think for me, at the heart of transformative change lies quite a number of things. One is the need to understand the context. Yeah, so it's very critical that if you are beginning an intervention or you're working on an intervention, you really understand the context that you want to be able to deliver on. So this really calls for working with, engaging the local community stakeholders, leaders, to have a thorough understanding of what is there, what they need, and what they need what the issues are on the ground. And this will now pave way to adaptation or whatever interventions that you want to carry out. Otherwise, like I said, one size does not fit all. You might be doing an intervention in Garissa and you assume because maybe the context is the same and so on, you can apply the same in Tana River. No, it doesn't work that way. So you really need to co-create that intervention, again, involving the local stakeholders and be able to bring in the local structures, be aware of the strengths that already exist, where the gaps are, and how you're going to be filling in those gaps. Then being able to build in sustainability from the beginning. You know you are there for this specific period of time, and how do you ensure that you build in the sustainability structures and mechanisms so that that particular intervention continues to function, continues to deliver the results over time. And lastly, for me, will be to develop and adapt indicators that, yes, align to global best practices, they align to the national indicators, but also ensuring that you take into consideration the local needs and environment. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Colleagues, I think the panel has done justice to the question of the theme of this conference, which is around transformation. But I want to give us a reality check. Last month, there was a report from the Lancet that over the last 30 years, aid has been going down. And now, the European Commission, the United States, England, who are some of our major donors, are reducing their aid from 0.7% of GDP, right? We now know there's a new securitization agenda. So I want to give us a reality check. The challenges are there, and we are going to have to move on 2 points extremely quickly. Otherwise, we leave a whole generation of children behind. The first is to reprioritize resource outlay. A lot of our work is dependent on external agencies. That is not going to be sustainable. So where are those resources coming from? I want to submit that there are resources, we're not prioritizing them. Like Dr. Robert Simiu yesterday said, education funding is like this, ECD funding is like this. He did it with this hand, but I'm doing it with this hand. That's point one. The other is the state cannot do everything on their own. So what is the critical role of civil society? And how do we create those partnerships? We have some good lessons, but I want you to take a vote right now. Has the panel convinced you that we are on the right path. If you think they have convinced you, I want you to raise your hand. But if you have a bit of a doubt, I want you to keep your hand like this. So let's have a vote. Like this or like this? Wow, you guys are very generous. Fantastic. Thank you, panel. Thank you. Pleasure.
As they pose for a photo, makofi tena kwao tafadhali. Dr. Neil has done a great job to ensure that we are knowledgeable about what they were discussing. Right about now, we're going to our next panel. I'd like to call up here, thank you, Daktari. I'd like to call Dr. Silas Onyango. Okay, hi everyone. As you see over here, there's a lovely professor close to me. As we prepare for the next panel, Professor Onyora will make a short presentation and then about Tharaka Nithi and the great works they're doing over there, and we'll have Dr. Silas Onyango. Karibu, Prof.
Thank you, thank you. Good morning, everybody. Sorry, I'm just intruding in. 10 minutes is my time, and I hope the slides are on. I think the slides are not on. 10 minutes is my time. No, I can't count from there. Media team, yes. I'm going to speak a little bit about Tharaka Nithi. I'll move a little bit fast, and I'm not in full control of the driving gears because somebody else is at the slide deck. But you can see that we are discussing something to do with the child care provision and women's economic empowerment. And in Tharaka Nithi, we are doing what we call a randomized controlled trial. It's one of the experimental processes that is used in medicine, but we decided to use it in childcare. So it's really something that is a very controlled environment, and that we hope will deliver results that will be able to discuss and influence what we are going to be doing in the country. And basically, we had two questions we were answering. If you are not able to move, I can take the gadget. Yeah, I can continue as they move on. So we have two questions. One of the questions we wanted to answer is, what is the impact of preschool curriculum intervention on child development outcomes and school readiness for 3 years old and 4 years old after 2 years of intervention. So the experiment is taking place for 2 years. And of course, we have two groups of schools, the intervention schools and the control schools, and we wanted to compare the results. The other question we wanted to answer is, what is the impact of preschool curriculum intervention that enrolls 3 years old into preschool earlier than usual, than stipulated by the ministry? What is its impact on policy on women's labor, supply, time use, and well-being? And we are going to see some of the results related to that. And just to take you to Tharaka Nithi, Tharaka Nithi is a very interesting county in the sense that it has 6 of the 7 agroecological zones of this country. 6 of them are found in the county. And you can see from that map, there is a brown area on my left, on your left. And then there's the green area in the middle, and then there's the light bluish area to the far end. we decided to group the 6 agroecological zones into 3 clusters, and we landed into 3 agroecological zones. And those 3 agroecological zones, we named them up, and there is a reason for that. We named them upland zone, and in the upland zone, mainly what you see happening there is one of the things you'll desire to have in your home. Farming activities that produce enough milk, that you keep great cows, you have tea, you have bananas, you have everything. Life is very sweet in the upper zone. So the reason why I'm mentioning that will obviously influence what the women there will do and how much money they can earn when the children are intervened on them. The other zone is the middle zone, the green one on the map on the side, the Midland zone, or the middle zone. And the middle zone is a little bit different from the upper zone. Mainly maize, bananas, some beans here, and keeping livestock, grazing, but a mixture of livestock, a little bit, the environment can be in between the wet zones and the dry zones. That's a little bit interesting, and of course that will influence again the type of economic activities the women will do. And the last zone is the lowland zone, and the lowland zone, which is the light green on the far end there. And that zone, you can see just from this picture that the women are engaged in very laborious activities. This is a bean crop, a cowpea crop, which is not really growing well. And of course, they are keeping free-ranging goats. Meat there is very sweet. But again, that will influence the type of activities they will do. Obviously, the population pressure there for those 3 agroecological zones influences the population structure, and you can see from the map that we have very high density population in the upper zone, a little bit lower, and then very low population in the lower zone. Before we came into this experiment, we had actually done a livelihood survey, and the livelihood survey gave us a few indicators of our expectation in that place. And one of them is that most of the women are involved in crop farming. Actually, almost 70-something% or 80-something% are involved in crop farming. 54% are involved in animal husbandry, and the casual labor for 2%, and the business is 16%. Employment, there were not really many people who were employed amongst the women in that particular area. And then we came into what do we then do to help the women overcome some of the challenges. What we did was to design what we call around a childcare, a randomized controlled trial childcare intervention. And of course, there are various requirements for this. We did an enhanced curriculum. We developed an activity guide. We developed learning materials. You can see the picture there. We designed on how the content was going to be delivered in the class. We trained the teachers, recruited at least a teacher per school that was doing the intervention. We recruited them. We told them that the children must learn in local language. That's another interesting thing. And of course, the children were then brought to school, and we can see in that picture some of them engaged in various activities, and some of them engaged in group activities there. And of course, we had a strategy on the implementation. We trained the mentors. We asked them what to be. There are people we call mentors. And I think those of you who have gone to our booth, you have seen there are 3 ladies there. One of the ladies is actually a mentor. The other 2 ladies are teachers. And I hope you have enjoyed the demonstrations there. But we trained the mentors on what to do what we call the inspectorate, or coaching of the teams. And then the randomization was a little bit of a challenge, of interesting to us. We can see the distribution of the schools on the other side, where the blue ones are the control schools, and the red dots are the treatment schools. And there was a design now. We arrived at those schools, so 60 for treatment, and 58 for control, and we had a structure. Now we arrived at that, and you can see the population of the schools, and how in each category, how many there were, and you can see the trajectory, how we designed the trajectory of how the children will progress. Basically, we brought 3 years old into the PP1, and they went on like that. And of course, then we have done already an assessment, And while doing that assessment of the children, we used various tools for assessment, very complex structures, child development index. My colleague will be talking later to you about some of these things, Debron screening, preschool self-regulation, international development, what we call IDELA, and then WIPSI, and the classroom observation. We did some measurement on observing what the children, the teachers and the children are doing in the class. And of course, there is some women outcome. And some of these outcomes are very interesting. I may not have enough time to explain this, but you can see here that one of the dilemmas of the county is that 66.6% of the women have only up to primary school level of education. That's a tragedy because they will not get formal employment anywhere. And we hope part of the intervention is to influence participation in school learning and improve the girls' participation in learning in schools, and therefore, because they'll be enjoying learning in the schools. And you can see here, out of our intervention, at baseline, we had the time use actually started varying, where you can see the mean for baseline is in blue, the mean for midline is in red or orange for that matter, and you can see the time used for child care, such as feeding and cleaning, has actually reduced for the mothers. Child care has reduced for the mothers, which is a good thing. We don't want the mothers to spend more time in child care and then at the expense of going to work. And the time used for going out of the house with the child has actually increased. The mothers are more involved now with the children and their children and so on. And I hope you'll have these statistics, and then you will utilize those statistics at some stage. And lastly, I'm sorry, I promised to keep my time. Women's monthly income at the experiment, they have increased to 14.9% compared to the control. That's amazing. So we are happy that the experiment is working. You can see here that the level of income has really increased. The amounts are improving for those who are in the intervention, and the amounts have remained on more or less the same for those who are not in the intervention. And of course, Fred, if you can swipe the glass, I think I'll finish there. If you can just move down and swipe the glass for them. There you are. Click on that and swipe the glass for them. Click on it to... it's not coming. Okay. Can you click on it? It's not visible. It's not expanding to the whole screen. Can you click on it first? Yeah. So there, and if you, when you get this presentation, it's in a link. You will swap that glass, and you will see that the bars, the black bars, just swipe again. The black bars are decreasing in one or another, which is related to information on those who are doing what? Black bars. Okay. Red. The black bars are related to the information of those who are working or doing some form of work or the other. And of course, there are changes from midline. And we were comparing the decision making in the house. And you realize that the women in the black bars, the women were making more decisions on almost everything. And you can see that that is reducing for them, and for the men is slightly increasing. So they are sharing now decision making at the household. And I've exceeded by 2 minutes. I thank you very much, and we welcome you to engage with us in the various activities that we are doing in the county. There are many stakeholders who are involved in this, as I told you, the Kenyatta University, the county, Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, Yale University, Bangor University, and the University of West Indies, and of course we were funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which is now called the Gates Foundation. God bless you people.
Makofi kwake tena. Asante sana Professor Onyora for teaching us so many things, and quite interestingly, I was sitting with the director ICT Garissa County, and there's need to include GIS in our data, and I was talking to him about how we can do that, and Prof, through you and the work you're doing in Tharaka Nithi, we're learning how to do that. Asante sana. More questions and deliberations?
Not necessary to invite you to your county. I have a huge team of young people who can actually come sit you for 2-3 days, and they will show you how to develop such products, first of all. But the science of GIS is a whole domain of learning, and I know World Bank has funded some of these counties with GIS labs. How many counties have GIS labs?
Garissa, number 1.
Mnainua tu mkono, kwani sitawapatia mtihani. How many counties have GIS labs?
Prof, asante sana.
Okay, thank you.
Hiya. Let us swiftly move on to the next panel. Dr. Silas, karibu sana. He's joined by colleagues Alan Aquanalo, promoting mental health and well-being in caregiving environments through the Moments That Matter project, evaluating healthcare workers' capacity. Karibu, Daktari.
Thank you, Sally. We want to invite our panelists to join us here. And I need to know how much time I have. I don't want to pass even by 1 minute. It's 30. Sure, is telling me 30 minutes. So please come in front, Linda Odero. Thank you, Linda. Samson, thank you so much. And Alan. I think Alan is already here. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's only in front here that they respond. Okay, thank you. Buona Sifiwe. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much. I'm Silas Onyango from the African Population and Health Research Center and working as a researcher. Today, or this session, we have an amazing team, and we have 3 of them, I think. We were supposed to be about 5, but I think the others are not there, and it's okay. It will save us time. So I want to give them 1 minute. I will not read the bios. If you want to know their bios, please look for them wherever they are, and they will tell you a lot about them in the interest of time. But I want to quickly ask them to introduce themselves and acknowledge our sign language interpreters, please, for the amazing work they are doing. Thank you so much. And also, I just want to give you, each of you, I think about 2-3 minutes to introduce yourselves. Tell us about what your work was about. I have seen them, I've read them. They are a mix of research and programs. That was amazing. But as you also introduce yourself, this work that they want to talk about were actually implemented within the communities, and that was amazing. One of the things that I want to ask them, as they introduce their the projects that they work on or the work that they're doing, I also want them to ask us, my boss is telling me that there is one person online. So please, Rogers, if you're online, please shout. Shout amen.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Here,
Thank you. So we have now 4. So as you introduce your project to us, quickly I want to ask you also to let us know how you also leverage existing community structures as you implement some of the projects that you want to tell us. And I want to start with you very quickly. Tell us your name and what your work is about, and give us like 2 highlights. Only 2. I know there's quite a lot and they're very interesting, but in the interest of time, just give us 2. Thank you.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. This villager is John Samson Oteo. John Samson Oteo was part of the Kenyatta University team that was working in Tarakan. John Samson Oteo was part of the measurement, the team that was working in Tharaka. The professor has just introduced and put in context what we were doing. And as he put it correctly, there was a study that was done, and that study informed us, plus the initiative of the governor. especially to deal with a dilemma that women in Tharaka Nithi found themselves in. A dilemma that was approach kind of conflict. The child-rearing mothers, they were faced with the responsibility of taking care of their children. And at the same time, they want to work. And there are benefits for taking care of their children. There are benefits also looking for a way of their livelihood. They found themselves in this. Either they focus on the children caring, or they focus on this, and you can see both of them, they are important. And that is how the governor came up with a crochet. And when Kenyatta University and other stakeholders were doing, they realized that is a brilliant idea, and they realized that not every mother is in the market. And that is how they transformed it into a school setting. And what I'm presenting is the nexus, the interconnectedness on the mother's empowerment and how that influences nutrition status of the children and the school readiness, basically. So that we are focusing on the root cause. The moment you focus on the household and the mothers, you are empowering the mothers. In fact, there's a quote that says, you educate a man, you educate a man. You educate a woman, you have educated a generation. That is where we are coming from, that the thermometer of any progress of any community is based on the treatment and the empowerment of the women. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and also thank you for that quote. But one thing I wanted to ask, I wanted you to add to the kind of work that you do is how you leverage existing community structures. Because I think when you went to Tharaka Nithi, there are the structures that you found there, and some of them are government, some of them are just community-led. How did you leverage these structures to ensure the implementation of this project?
As I put it earlier, the initiative began, the Crochet initiative began with the governor, which was a brilliant idea. And we are engaging everything that we are doing, we are getting from the people of Tharaka Nithi in the sense that we have an idea, like now the issue of the coming up with the curriculum, the implementation of the curriculum, the coming of the materials. We are using the local available materials. We are using the local people in terms of to implement the curriculum, and we are using the local language. Our work as researchers in the university is we came up with what we think works, but we needed to contextualize it within the Tharaka Nithi County and what can work, such that by the time we are leaving, we have capacity built the community and they will upscale based on that empowerment that they've got.
Thank you, Dr. I also want to get to Linda. And Linda, you also implemented something that is very interesting for children with the developmental disabilities through community-based rehabilitation. So tell us more about this in 1 or 2 minutes, and also tell us how you leverage community existing structures to ensure that this is uptaken upon maybe exit from the community.
Okay. Thank you so much.
And remember to introduce yourself also.
My name is Odero Linda. I work with PATH, and for so many years, PATH has been doing quite a lot of work in early childhood development space. We have been partnering with the government, both at national and sub-national levels, where we have been creating enabling environment in terms of policy work and advocacy. And at the county level, we've been integrating early childhood development within the health systems, working closely with the health facilities and also the community platforms that are available. We also provide technical expertise to local implementing partners and community-based organizations that are passionate about integration of early childhood development within health systems. So today I'm here to share our learnings about one key area that we realized has
Linda, just 1 minute. I want to ask the audience, kindly let's focus here, because most of you are also discussing, and Linda is also discussing something very, very important here. Just imagine it was you who was sitting here and somebody talking in the audience. How you feel? Linda, continue.
Thank you so much. So my learnings we want to share today is about one key gap that we realized. And this is about inclusivity, especially with children with disability. Why does it matter as part of what we do? You look at the system and you find 1 in 10 children globally live with developmental disability. And 80% of them are in low and middle income countries, where under 10% receive the services they need. And for those who receive those services that they need, 80% of them drop out, either because of stigma, distance, others, religion, and also poverty. So this reflects a growing awareness in this space and also the need. So as a result of this, how we leveraged the systems that are available. For one, we worked with the Association of Persons Living with a Disability in Kenya, where we capacity built them in terms of integrating play-based therapy to children with disability and developmental delays, and also using the most important resource in the community, who are the community health promoters, mapping them out. I'd like to call mapping the hotspots, where if at all we would have a GIS, we'll be having very colorful presentation to see the distribution. So the two-phased approach was using community health promoters to map them out, and then we have the therapists now coming in to follow up and realizing the needs of the children, and also putting the intervention according to the child's needs.
Thank you.
So that is how we did leverage it. Thank you.
And thank you, Linda. Dr. Rogers, can you hear us?
Yes, Chair, I can hear you, sir.
Oh, go ahead and tell us about your work, and also briefly how the community systems are integrated in your work in Lodwar. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Dr. Rogers Cheruya, Senior Lecturer at Daystar University. I specialize in education planning and policy development analysis. We did a study on psychosocial support for the child sexual abuse, children who undergo sexual abuse. And one of the things that came out is that in as much as we believe and are aware that the health workers, together with other systems, the police, the social workers, working together to help these children get support, health support. One of the greatest gap we are able to see is that there's a gap in the provision of the psychosocial support. And when you're looking at the various players around Lodwar, the health system, the social workers, the policemen, the shelter for the children who are abused, there is a gap. The movement of information from the parent, going all the way up to the people who are responsible for offering the psychosocial support, that process takes a very long time. At the end of the day, we find most parents give up seeking for support. Most parents, just even not just about the mental, the health support, but even the psychosocial support. Even some of them are not aware. It was so appalling to find that there are some health workers who work in Lodwar Hospital who don't know the kind of support they need to give these children. In fact, you say, you come tomorrow, we're going to help you, let me find out what's going to happen. And this had a great impact to the parent. When you're looking at the parents and the social workers together with the health workers, they were saying that the reporting time was long. The amount of social support was very low. In fact, they were offering what's supposed to be done instead of them offering the guiding and counseling. And we saw a very, very big gap. We saw a very, very big gap. And as we shall be moving forward, and in my recommendation in this study, there is a need of training of the health workers and every person who is involved in the child safety and child protection to be able to see how long do we need to take from the time a sexual abuse is reported at the family level up to the time we are receiving the psychosocial support from the hospital. We need to minimize the time. We need to take care of the psychological impact of the child. We need to understand the various forms of sexual abuse, some which are seen to be so normal, but they're not normal. We have normalized a sexual abuse which actually is not normal. So what forms exist and what kind of social psychosocial support we need to give to the children. And that can begin by the training of the health workers, which was seen as a big gap in this study, sir.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Chari, and we are coming back to you. And finally, we have Alan. Alan is working on a very important aspect now on mental health and well-being of caregiving environment through a project called Moments That Matter. Tell us more about this, Alan, and also how the systems are working, the community systems are working to ensure that mental health of caregivers are addressed, especially those that are indicating negative mental health outcomes.
Okay, good morning. My name is Aquanalo Alan, like my colleague here, a villager, but based in Vega County from Anglican Development Services, Western Region. In the Moments That Matter project, it is an ECD project that focuses on the children 0 to 3 years old and being implemented by ADS Western in partnership with ADS Nyanza, funded by the Hilton Foundation through the Episcopal Relief Development, that is from the USA. And with this project, we focus much on the highly vulnerable communities to bring our impact, which we leverage more on the responsive caregiving framework as we seek to bring to turn the vulnerable status of these community members to a very valuable caregiving environment. And when you mention such aspects, it's a very wide array of things that the project does cover. And through the MTM, we have been able to embrace the needs of the caregivers through the ECD promoters that we do have in our system to be able to transform their lives through knowledge and in an aim to create sustainability in such a manner that as they own the project in the community, once maybe the phase of the project lapses, they can be able to own everything that we have been able to teach them in the community, and as we focus on improving their lives. Now, coming to the main purpose of our study, that is looking at creating proper mental health and proper caregiving environments in their communities. It's also covering so much, and we do leverage so much on the existing structures to be able to have this goal. And in the past 18 months, that is cutting up to November last year, we were able to conduct surveys from the baseline, the midline, and the end line, and it focused so much on these caregivers. And we used the tools, the GSED and the CREDI tool, if you have deep knowledge about them, to be able to gauge the behaviors and the outcomes of these caregivers in the communities. And it is at that particular point whereby the aspect of psychosocial changes come by. And we realize that these caregivers in the communities, they do undergo so much trauma, so much stress, without forgetting the economic stress, sexual gender-based violence in their communities, that in the end affect the outcome of the growth of the child in the community. And talking about leveraging on the existing structures, we have the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Agriculture, Security, the Children's Office, the Registrar of Social Services, the Registrar of Birth Certificates, the Social Services Office. These structures are there to enable us to provide, we don't provide these services directly, but once the ECD promoters can be able to track that and realize that we, for example, have a delayed milestones in a particular household, they provide referrals, and we ensure there to ensure that these referrals are functionable, not just mentioning referrals in the community. We follow up to ensure that there is a proper outcome. And looking at how the study, the researchers be able to provide a proper outcome in the caregivers. We acknowledge that through the caregiver support and learning group 60, which each group has 13 caregivers, they're able to build resilience through these ECD promoters, assisted by a structure of the faith leaders that provide holistic support to the caregivers, to provide a safe space to discuss what is maybe ailing them. And we also have male engagements, male-only activities to provide for the same, so that they can be able to open up and talk, so that we can be able to create solutions for them and their problems that they're facing in the community.
Thank you, Alan, and thank you for bringing the aspect of male engagement. And we talk about men engagement, not male engagement. And that's, I know yesterday there was an issue about men engagement here. I want to ask, as Dr. in the implementation of these strategies to address malnutrition in the community, there could have been capacity strengthening gaps that you could have identified. And I want to ask the audience, as they respond, I want to ask one side here one question. In the middle here, we're going to have one question. And then on the last row, we're also going to have one question. What are some of the capacity gaps capacity strengthening gaps? I'm not talking about capacity building, capacity strengthening gaps that you identified. And how do you try to address them through your project? Please, in 1 minute.
There's an aspect I didn't get, nutrition related?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe let me put it in perspective so that we can understand our focus on the project. We didn't focus on nutrition per se, but our major concern was we need to create time for the mothers to work.
Yeah.
In the sense that we are taking away your 3-year-old, then we create for you time so that you can engage on an economic activity, which in one way or another you couldn't do it because you had a child at home.
Right.
In a way, how is it influencing, because this is the baseline that we got, or the baseline results that we are using from the need assessment. Yeah. We realized that mothers, one, they really make decisions, or they make final decisions on 5 major items. One of it is the purchase of food, purchase of clothing, the children's health, the kind of work they do on family planning. You can see here, if you empower this lady or you take away the child, the mother is able to work. And when the mother is able to work, it will get the income, remembering that when we checked on their bargaining power, their actions in terms of decision making, one of the major things that they said, they make a final decision in purchasing food in terms of quality and in terms of quantity. So that is how the connection comes. And when they are able to buy that food, we know very well there's a connection between nutrition and the physical development of the child. And when there's delayed development, obviously it will affect the school readiness.
Thank you so much. And I think you respond to that very, very well. And also in managing children with developmental disabilities, I think this has been a challenge and is one of the focus areas that we are looking into, especially with the involvement of the male caregivers in helping the mothers to manage this. Linda, what is one thing that was striking in this particular engagement with the community, especially with regard to bringing the male caregivers or the men caregivers into this particular kind of program? Please, 1 minute.
Okay, thank you so much. So there were gains and there were gaps that we realized. One of them were finding that these families, caregivers, including of the men within those families, there were hidden cases of where children with disability never accessed services. Some of them were barriers through stigma, where the men believed that disability, if a disability was within the family, then it was the problem, or the mother was the initiator of this, the disability. And then there were other areas where religion played a role, whereby you find the male caregiver being in a particular religion, and this influences the outcomes in terms of accessing services. It was not only gaps involving men, but there were also gains where you find men also involving themselves in making or creating homemade therapy tools. For example, the three-legged walker, you'd find men really engaging in artwork to create such materials, locally made materials for their children. So this does not only show resourcefulness, but also demand where men are now getting involved with their children who have disabilities and delays.
Thank you. Thank you. And Alan, can you just link that with the work on the mental health that you are doing in Western Kenya?
You can come again.
Involvement of men, especially in addressing primary caregivers' mental health.
Okay, like I mentioned, we do have the engagement of the male-only, in the male-only activities. And like our moderator yesterday mentioned that you can only get the the problems affecting the males when they only ask the males in a forum only involved by the men. So we do have activities, probably twice in every quarter, to be able to come together. And we do have these activities through the change agents that we do have, the faith leaders, the ECD promoters who are males, faith leaders who are males, and we also engage the existing structures, but only the males. They come on board, including the ward administrators, they give the area to come and talk about these aspects, to open up the reasons, to get the reasons as to why they may not be exploring the aspect of responsive caregiving fully. And it's from there that they themselves will give solutions that will in turn, as the program staff, come on board to help implement and provide a change, a positive change in their households. And in turn, as they give solutions, they also create boards whereby they come and help those male caregivers that also have, let me say, gotten lost in aspects of, let's say, alcoholism that may be prompted because of stress in their families. And in turn, it has always brought out a positive result. And when you look at the results of our research that we had in the 18 months, male stimulation was a bit high in the results of the research.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I thank you. And I still hold the idea that if you want to know why men are not involved, talk to men. The other thing that, Dr. Rogers, I want you to quickly, in 30 seconds, and this issue of child sexual abuse, and you are talking to survivors, especially in context of Lodwar. I don't know, because one of the things that we've also realized is that the perpetrators of this abuse mainly are also men. Focus on that in 30 seconds as we conclude this.
Thank you, Chair. It's a big problem, especially in Lodwar. There are three factors which are affecting, has a great impact when we are looking at child sexual abuse. One is culture, number two is gender, where men are coming in, and number three, the socioeconomic factors that interact across this system to affect the CSA outcomes in Lodwar. The African culture, the African society, the Lodwar community is mainly masculine, and then is the man who makes the decision in the home. So that if the women are not empowered to be able to help their children without overstepping the mandate of the men in the house, then some of this abuse cannot be reported. And that's why we need to do something like known as a system mapping, bring men inside here. What are the weak points in child protection network? What are the weak points in reporting of the sexual abuse? How can we be able to navigate men? How can we be able to bring men into this system? How can we be able to empower men to see that whatever is being done to our children, either male, boys or girls, is not good for the society? So that men become a stumbling block in this place. And one of the things, again, Chair, we found out that the weak reporting system then, just even the abuse, the reporting from the family to move to the next step, is the father has to be involved. The male has to be involved. Because when the things go to the other stakeholders, the man may decide to say, no, this did not happen. I did not see it. And when he comes back, he sorts with the wife back or the abuser. The thing is that we need to involve men. Men have to be involved in this thing. Instead of it just being left to be a women's affair, but men have to see the importance of why children have to be protected. And I think for a long time, because of the patriarchal society we live in, we have always left children in the hands of women, forgetting that actually the raising up of children is a dual function of both the male and the father and the mothers.
Thank you so much.
Bringing men into this thing, bringing men into places for them to be able to talk together and help them to overcome. If men are involved, I think the level of sexual abuse will go very low, because they are the heads of the home. And if they say this thing has to go forward, this thing has to be reported, we need to get justice for this, the things will move. But if the father is not involved, or the father is against it, then it becomes a whole barrier. There are quite a number of barriers identified, and most of those barriers are surrounding on men chair.
Thank you, Dr. I think we need another forum to discuss that, but thank you for your points. And like you're saying that if you involve men, then the whole society is involved. If you educate a woman, then the whole society is educated. If Professor Aya was not educated, he will not be here today. Thank you so much. And I want to give us 3 questions, and then we finalize. The problem is that I'm just directly in front of my bosses, and they keep on. So I want us to finish, and then we proceed. 1 question from this side. Thank you so much, man. Can we give him microphone? He's there. You're just passing him. And also here, and then also here. The rest of the people who have questions, these people will be outside there. Go and sit with them. And I will be with them anyway. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you for your presentation. I wanted to ask a question to Prof. With the presentation that he did. I think one thing...
I want you to ask, concentrate on our panel. Prof was not in our panel. But that question can be answered by Dr. Uteo here. But Prof is also here. It's not that he's away. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, so I still want him to answer because it's related to what he presented.
Yeah.
And the question is about how do we sustaining the caregivers' participation in early childhood education, because the problem that we grapple with is incentivization of the caregivers, because most of their time is spent in looking for opportunities to fend for their families. So
yes.
That is something that I would like us to know with your presentation. Was something like that discussed? And if it was not, that is something that we need to ponder as counties and development agencies to see how we can encourage caregivers to spare time to be part of the early childhood education.
Thank you. Here, 1 question, please. Go ahead, madam, at the back. It's good that people at the back are now asking questions. We're in front are taking water.
Thank you to our panelists. I'm Nancy Njeru from Save the Children. I think my question can be answered by either of the panelists. And it's around, I'm wondering what is the role of the faith leaders, the faith-based organizations, and also the cultural leaders in this conversation, because we realize they have a lot of power and influence in making some decisions around caregiving. Thank you.
A very good question. And I want Linda to answer that with regards to also integration or inclusion of children with disabilities in our programming. The last person. And Prof has come here to respond. Prof, sit down. Last person, if there's nobody, Doreen, this side is, Doreen has taken, yeah, you delayed. Doreen, go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. My question goes to Alan. Alan told us that they ensure there is a functional referral system I'd really love to get some lessons from your hand, how you ensure that the referrals are effective and they are impactful, because this is one area that we are really struggling with when you are doing referrals, just to ensure that the services are complete and the person whom you referred has received that service. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and thank you, Doreen, for that question. I want to ask Prof to respond to his question, and then, Prof, you know you are not in this panel, so just respond.
I was in between.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm not a lone ranger. Thank you for that question.
Yeah.
Early this year or late last year, we were doing a campaign for child something, Teresa? There was a campaign for child something. Child care. And one of the things that came out during that campaign, we need to increase center-based child care. Center-based child care. And in our case now, it is school-based child care. And in the school-based child care, what is important is that you actually have a caregiver who is trained, knowledgeable, loving, and cares for the children and wants to see the children learn. Any caregiver, even in your home, if those attributes are not there, you are doomed. So caregiving is about the basics of who is taking the care. Can I finish there?
Yes, Prof. Thank you so much. And thank you for summarizing. Linda, go ahead. I'm soon receiving a bullet.
Oh, thank
Linda,
you so
go
much.
ahead.
So the role of faith leaders in early childhood development. This is really, really key. And coming from area of implementation in Western Kenya that has been done by bringing a multi-sectorial approach within the counties where the faith leaders are part and parcel of the discussions involving the child.
Yes.
We also have different stakeholders, some of them who are in this meeting, who have been working hand in hand with the faith leaders and bringing them together in terms of integrating early childhood development within their congregations and forums, and also acting as champion. To close it all, I'll say that within Western Kenya, parts of the campaign, if you know the famous for Siaya, Nyathi and Mwandu, meaning a child is wealth. A child is wealth. The faith leaders were part and parcel of this, and they were at the forefront as champions, because what they say is word, and word is wealth. So I'd like to leave it there and also give my colleague to
Thank you, Linda. And one thing I know about faith leaders, their followers understand them more than anything else. If you want effective integration of your programs, work with the faith leaders. You will be successful, I'm telling you. 1 minute and then we close. Bwana Alan?
Thank you. I'll start by maybe giving me some 10 seconds to add on the faith leaders, because our structured Moments That Matter program, we leverage so much on the faith leaders. They're the ones who help us to choose or select the ECD promoters in the community. And we don't just rely on one religion. We accept Hindu, Muslim, and Christians, and any other religion that is affiliated with the community. And it has worked so much well with us in the project. Now, coming to my response, the functional referral system. It's always a slogan at our organization. A referral system is not a system when it has not produced the outcome quite well. So how it works, we have the ECD promoters who are very much close with the primary caregivers to go to the households. When they conduct the home visits, at least maybe thrice in a month, they come out to check on any problem, be it social, health. Then we have connected them with the grassroots level facilities. For example, the dispensaries. They go there together with the Ministry of Health to check on ensuring that that particular household has received that particular service. Or if not, we conduct outreaches as an organization in the community to bring the services closer to the community so that those households that missed the services or were not able to go to the hospitals, for example, because of lack of transport, they come and get the services directly in their households. And also, we have the multi-sector together with the 6 line ministries to ensure that through our ECD committees, they are represented and they bring the services closer to the households and the caregivers. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone. Thank you for those who asked questions and those who did not ask. We also appreciate you. I know it's because of time. We really thank you so much. I want you just to upstanding, and we appreciate them. Let's just give them a round of applause as they stand. Thank you so much. You've been amazing panelists. And therefore, I want to join you for a photo.
Makofi kwake kwa kazi nzuri ambayo amefanya tafadhali. Thank you so much, Dr. Silas. Looking at the time, it's time for tea break. We will break for tea break and then come and rejoin immediately to continue the program. Asanteni sana. Thank you. At exactly 11, we will all be here to continue the program.
Hi, tulikuwa tunaharakisha tu juu ya chai. I thought something was coming.
Judith, if you can stand, they can see you. Just go around and hakikisha across the participants we have. You can be filling in that online so we can get your thoughts and views. Because what will happen is, we're calling that our commitment wall, and our action planning, that's our commitment wall. So if you've not received that link from Menti, Miss Judith will be going around to ensure you have it. It's been shared on WhatsApp groups, on online. It's been pasted on the Zoom link that is online, so feel free to leave a comment or two over there. Feel free to leave a comment or two over there. We are gearing for the closing plenary, which should take us about till 1 p.m. If you've not received that link, let me know, let us know so that you have it. You can fill it in. It's been shared widely, leave a comment or two. Director, on your WhatsApp, you have it as well. I've shared a link you can fill in. It's basically a question asking how committed to advancing early childhood development in Kenya or across the region. Make sure you leave a commitment, a statement, an idea, an innovation, a critique. We are calling that our commitment wall, and for action planning. So delegates are invited to write and share their personal organizational commitments to advancing ECD in Kenya. So let us know, what are your thoughts? What are some of the things that you will commit to doing? We will have that on the screen. It's a live link, so everything that you let us know will be shared here, and I will be reading a few of them. So make sure you're filling that. Production, if you're ready, you can just play the mini documentary if possible. In the meantime, we can all be just interacting with that link, because what happens after all of us come in, we will read those commitments, they will be shown on screen, and we will enter officially the closing plenary.
10 years ago, a bold vision was born, a dream to unite voices, strengthen partnerships, and place early childhood development at the heart of national dialogue in Kenya. In this special documentary, we take you on a reflective journey through the evolution of ECD in Kenya to explore the memories, the milestones, and the moments that mattered. This is our story, this is our legacy. Welcome.
My name is Professor Teresa Moma, the founder and national coordinator, ECD Network for Kenya, which brings together all actors in early childhood to deliberate on issues affecting children. When we think about early childhood development, we look at children right from the time they are conceived up to around the time these children join school. When we think in the context of Kenya, for many years, early childhood development was equated to pre-primary education.
And those are opportunities for us now. As we look at where we are, I see nothing but opportunities. I see there are gaps, but I think that we need to move forward with it.
For a successful early child development, really, it needs one important component, which is just a major stakeholder, the mother. If you don't have healthy mother, both mentally and physically, this ECD will not going to be successful.
Mothers particularly don't find it difficult, though they're often surprised. I mean, the UNICEF and WHO, since 2018, when they produced their nice diagram, have promoted what they call a nurturing care framework. And it's, addresses all the needs of the child.
And all of this, they cut across different fields.
When they are well grounded, you are prepared these people for life in all spheres of life.
it has some impact because when you go to the counties, you'll find that they are taking care of the holistic development of children. Some countries are providing food, the learning materials.
So there isn't anything they need to learn new about that. What they need, everybody needs to learn though, is responding to a child's interest, bids for attention, their abilities, providing something at their ability.
One of the gaps I see is in the whole issue of socialization, gender socialization. We don't pay enough attention to that. The early socialization, and I'm not saying that we should not change. We have to change to survive. Sometimes change is slower, sometimes change is fast.
And it all revolves on the framing, how you frame, because that will either click. So that development from nursery, preschool, early childhood development and care, that kind of thing, it really brought, and then people physically see and see in practice what's happening.
Thank you so much. Karibuni back to the session. Earlier on, I had asked all of us to make sure that they have left their contribution on the online link that was sent to you. It was basically a commitment wall. And if you've not received that link, if you have, I would like us to have the commitment wall up. Let us show what are some of the views coming in. The question was, how are you or your organization committed to advancing early childhood development in Kenya or across the region? We sent the link to all of you on your WhatsApp. We've shared, and if you have the link, kindly make sure you leave your comments, share to more colleagues and more friends. So the link will go live right now. Let us see some of the responses coming in. As we await for the link to go up and the responses, Moran Publishers is announcing that they have the ECD curriculums at the exhibition. If you have time, please make your way during lunch to their booth to be able to have that. Also, I would like to let you know that Garissa County and its Red Cross team has been here since day one, so we want to thank them for that. Should you have any particular problem and you need assistance, stand guided that they are here to assist us. So asante sana Garissa County. I think I'll move closer here to read. These are some of the... Allow me to stand the other side. Niko na challenge ya macho kidogo. But I will stand here to be able to read. Some of the live feedback coming in. We have providing evidence to policy, advocacy, and system strengthening. We asked you, how are you or your organizations committed to advancing early childhood development in Kenya or across the region? Some of the responses coming in. Kuna moja ambayo inasema providing evidence for policy, advocacy, and system strengthening. Building capacity of the local implementing partners at the grassroots and strengthening their institution for sustainability of the gains in ECD. Wow. Conducting continuous advocacy through a multisectoral approach and of course, leveraging on technology. Makofi kwa hiyo. See, we are a bit multisectoral in this room. Do you feel like we are a bit multisectoral? And I think leveraging on technology, we are trying that. Policy advocacy and implementation, providing evidence for policy advocacy and system strengthening. I read that. There's also capacity building for parents, caregivers, and teachers, research for evidence-based data, collaboration with community stakeholders and county and national governments. Kuna nyingine ambayo inasema coordination of state and non-state and identifying champions. I think huyu anataka we identify champions in early childhood, but also he continues or she continues saying identifying champions from the low-performing frontier counties. We indicated coordination, conducted a survey and developed a strategic plan to mobilize resources and address priority ECD needs. I think they're informing us more on what they're doing at FCDC. Continued advocacy on multi-sectoral coordination and cooperation. Center for Adolescent Girls and Youth Health Program, CBO, is working in partnership with Keynote and county government. Something about strengthening. I think those are some of the responses coming in, and I think more will be trickled down, and we are going to be receiving those commitment walls. As we had our moment of silence, I think that moment of silence was us thinking about the commitments on the wall and you trying to see how does that resonate with what are some of the key takeaways from this conference. At this juncture, I need help with removing some of these seats up mbele as I invite Dr. Roslyn Olumbe, who has a few announcements for us. Karibu Daktari.
Good morning. I have a quick announcement I would like to make and just follow up. First of all, as we are appreciating the process and support we've received for this conference. And I would like to announce for those of us interested in the Child of Space, we have a conference coming up in November, between November 5th to 7th at the Kenya School of Government in Nairobi. And it is the 3rd International Conference on Child Protection. We've had the 1st and 2nd, which were hosted at Daystar. And this we are doing in collaboration with the DCS, Mark. I'm looking for Mr. Mark Kerr. He's a chair. Okay, he's not here, but I'm doing on behalf of DCS and the other supporting agents. So this call will be sent to us. Our main theme is child protection and climate change. So as we think about the issues of climate change and how we can protect children, we are inviting you. There are several sub-themes, 7 of them, and I'm not sure I want to read them right now. What we will do, and through the ECD network and other platforms, we'll be able to share this call. The deadline for the abstract is on 15th of August, and we hope that you can send in your paper so that we can continue supporting this space of children and have many more. I know the State Department for Children is actually at the heart of it because they're the ones who initiate the process, and we plan together with them, with several stakeholders, including UNICEF, Save the Children, and many others. Please plan to come 5th to 7th of November this year at the Kenya School of Government, and the theme, child protection and climate change. We welcome you. Thank you very much. Asante.
Asante sana Daktari. You know, some of us were asking through break, what are some of the opportunities? And that is another great opportunity. So stay informed and please purpose to attend. At this juncture, Garissa County has organized for entertainment for us. There's an amazing school, Hyuga Secondary, ambayo ina watoto. Chief Musa, the chief officer in charge of vocational training, his team and various other chief officers as well as directors from Garissa County have worked tirelessly to ensure that we are entertained and we can see more about Garissa through their children. So allow me to introduce Hyuga Secondary. Apologies. Hyuga Primary. Hyuga Primary. Na majaliwa inshallah itakuja kuwa pia secondary, si ndio? Watoto wote. Haya. Hyuga Primary, karibuni sasa from Garissa County with their presentation. They have a kamba dance for us. This can attest to how cosmopolitan Garissa County is, si ndio? Haya, watoto wa Hyuga, karibuni sana. Don't worry, they're a bit shy. They're coming in. But once wakikuja hapa kwa stage, hawatakuwa shy. Na wakiingia muwapigie makofi muonyeshe tumewakubali, si ndio? Do not worry, any moment from now they will be walking through. You can keep thinking about your commitments. Go back to that link and give me more and more comments on how you are committing on our wall of action. I see delegates coming in. How pia watakuwa wakifanya mchezo na Hyuga Primary. They will dance with them pale mbele. Waziri Busia, you are among them. Make sure ucheze na watoto wetu. Haya, makofi kwa wakiingia tafadhali. Kiunga Primary with the traditional Kamba dance from Garissa County.
All protocols observed, good morning. In front of you are Yuga Junior School, ready to present a Kamba folk song entitled Some Thya Mwana. Yes, Some Thya Mwana. It is a Kamba folk song sung during educational days to encourage parents to educate their children. Enjoy.
Some the mwana kawewe, some the mwana kawewe, mwana na some, kidungo mwana na some, kidungo some thya. Some the mwana kawewe, mwana na some, kidungo mwana na some, kidungo some thya. Wana wakwa taslingi semba wonge la nyenenge mwana na some kidungo good morning mungenge ukati wa ingethia. Wana wakwa taslingi semba wonge la nyenenge mwana na some kidungo good morning mungenge ukati wa ingethia. Maendeleo, maendeleo Kenya ya ila sima ya mundo akinye wenzi ya venwe kindu kile kyake akinye wenzi ya venwe kindu kile kyake. Maendeleo, maendeleo Kenya ya ila sima ya mundo akinye wenzi ya venwe kindu kile kyake akinye wenzi ya venwe kindu kile kyake. Moikana mutabise, moikana mutabise, mwana mwale ya kusoma mwasenyanzo ya komete mwambola nelia. Mwana mwale ya kusoma mwasenyanzo ya komete mwambola nelia. Ke namba oteya, ke namba oteya. Moikana mutabise. Mwana mwale ya kusoma mwasenyanzo ya komete mwambola nelia. Mwana mwale ya kusoma mwasenyanzo ya komete mwambola nelia. Ke namba oteya. Ke namba oteya. Mwanako Kolasia. Kolasia. Mwanako Kolasia. Kolasia. Asanteni.
Hao wa kitambo hawako wanasoma na usiposoma utaenda kupil, si ndio? Utaenda kutoa. Tell me about, niambie kuhusu hiyo wimbo. Inamaanisha nini?
Like it says your students should learn. Some Thya Mwana inamaanisha mzazi somesha mwana wako asome apate elimu ajue Kiingereza good morning.
Yes. Makofi kwao, si ndio? Thank you so much. Unaitwa nani?
Naitwa Mary.
Haya, makofi kwa Mary and the team. You can attest to how Mary will become a very bright Mary in the future, si ndio? It begins right now. It begins from her early years and the children and all of us together. At this juncture, we are going to have a bit of reflections and the big idea summary. Lakini, I stand guided because
Mr. Maalim and I are to moderate that for you. What are the big ideas and the summary around that? Those ideas will be mentioned when the moment comes when I call an amazing gentleman called Mr. Munaweza akituongelesha zaidi kuhusu what he has been compiling throughout the conference mpaka sasa. Now, at this juncture, allow me kukaribisha Professor Moma so that we can continue with a very amazing, interesting part of the conference.
Good morning, everybody. Is it morning? Good morning, everybody. Now that moment has come. The moment when you make a decision whether this conference should continue or not. Do you want this conference to continue? Yes. How many wants it to continue? Okay, so shortly, I just want, for those of you who are joining us for the first time, this is our 60th conference. And what we have been doing, we go around the economic blocks to different counties. So far, we have done Nairobi, we have done counties za Jumuiya ya Bwani. Is that how you call the economic block? We have also done the Lake Region economic block. In County Sapwani, we did in Mombasa County. In the Lake Region economic block, we did in Siaya, 2021. In the North Rift economic block, we did in Turkana, 2027. 2023. Unaona me, I'm thinking forward. In 2025, we have done in the FCDC. So how many economic blocks are remaining? 2. Which one? We have the Central Region economic block. Do we have people from the Central Region economic block here? Also, we have the Southeastern economic block, that is Makueni, Embu, Machakos. Do we have people from that economic block? Oh no. Oh, one is there. Embu. You are Embu? Okay. Sio mahali mumezaliwa wa mama. Kama kwako ni huko, that's when you say. Anyway, on a light note. So, we have 2 economic blocks that we are going to identify a county that will host. And if we don't have anybody from those counties willing to host us, then we will now open it up for anybody from any part of the country. But before we open it up, let us restrict it to the 2 economic blocks. And this is how it goes. We get a county government volunteering to host. Please, if you are an implementer and you are implementing in a county, don't raise up your hand because we will collaborate with that county government. Sawa sawa. So, I want volunteers. We have the central, we have the southeastern part. So, who are willing to host us? Raise up your hand. Okay, you are from which economic block? Embu is in Central? Okay, so Embu is in Central. So, in other words, what we have is only Central. Sindio?
Yes.
So, are you in how do you call it, Waziri? Sekem? Sereb. Huh? Are you from Sereb? Are you from Sereb?
Yes.
Great. Then we don't have representation from Southeastern. So, Embu, are you proposing to have your county to host?
We are very much ready.
Very good.
Now,
sit
you're
down.
Welcome. Yes.
Sit down.
Asante.
I saw other hands here. Yes, Chief. Tarakaniti, are you from Serep? Very good. Tarakaniti has also been proposed. Anybody from Serep again? Any county? Well, ni wenyewe wamesema. Hawa ni wenyewe wamesema. Wao wamejipeleka Central. So wherever they have taken themselves, ni sawa. So we have 2 proposals. We have Embu, we have Tarakaniti. Another proposal from the 2 economic blocks. Very good. So today we have easy work. You know, in last time in Turkana we had a tough work. Meru was there, Machakos was there, Garissa was there. They were 7. Kajiado also offered themselves. So today our work is easier. So we have Embu and also we have Tharaka Nithi. So we are going to vote. Who is going to help me count? No. It's upon them. Tutakuwa hata chini ya mti. Swali ninaulizwa, do you have capacity? Capacity in terms of what? I think, siende hivyo tafadhali. Let us be objective. Capacity, they have been here. You know, we are voting here. They have seen the numbers, and they might be more in their counties. Okay? For us to be objective, it is to make sure that we go to all economic blocks. Sawa sawa. So capacity, it is upon you. And if I can give you the previous experience, in Nairobi, the first time we held at KICD, the second time at Kenyatta University. In Siaya, we held at Masinde, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga University. And then in Turkana, we had planned to have it in the university, but logistics could not allow, so we moved to an hotel. And when we moved to an hotel, because there was no capacity in terms of rooms, they did a doom tent. Sawa. So I don't think there is a county that will miss even you know, we are advocates of children. Sindio, if that is what is driving us, there is nothing wrong even going to a primary school. You put a doom tent, you put another tent for women to talala hapo, another tent for men to sleep there. Okay? Sawa. So let us be objective.
Professor, there's a statement from Tharaka Nithi.
Okay.
He has an innovative idea.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm
Jonathan Imweti, the Chief Officer Education and Vocational Training in Tharaka Nithi. I just want to give a justification why Tharaka Nithi and not Embu.
Okay. Debate now.
Campaign time. I'm mobilizing. The reasons why we need to host you. One, the randomized control trials, the first ever in the country, is taking place in Tharaka Nithi. The one that is run by a principal investigator, Professor Nywere, and my Waziri Dorothy Naivasha. That is castigated by the Yale University, University of Mbango, and the West Indies. So in this program, we are going to demonstrate now on the ground. Tutaita watoto wakuja hapo that are randomized wenye wamesoma. We shall present those local materials there. We shall host you at the Chuka, and we believe that we have capacity to host you in the hotels and everything.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So he's saying that there are hotels we will be sleeping, but that does not disqualify Embu. Embu simama na wewe chitete bwana.
Thank you so much. You know, I've listened to my colleague from Tharaka Nithi, and the only point that
Ebu wamesikisa ninyi, wacha na sisi tuwasikize.
You know, he has talked of a program called the Randomized Controlled Trial, RCT. We have that program in Embu County. And even the part of it is that it is a collaboration between Embu County government and University of Embu.
Wow.
Not KU or other foreign university. University of Embu. So if we have to have this conference in Embu, we are going to host it at Embu University. Okay? So we already have the goodwill of the university, of the host. Okay? Then also Embu County has been the entry quarters for Eastern Province, the former provincial administration, which Tharaka Nithi I think was also part. So we are the headquarters of Tharaka Nithi.
Very good.
So
very good. Okay.
Number 3. Our director, I'm the deputy director. The director there, most of you know him. He's called Dr. Jeremiah Reddy. Yes, you know him. He's actually the chairperson the caucus of all the directors, ECDs in the country. Okay? So you have all the reasons to come to Embu. Thank you so much. God bless you.
He has built this case. They also, okay, I can see CEC Education is having. But before, let us listen to them. I think we have moved to a notch higher. Sindio? Now sio kusema ni Turkana ama ni Embu ama ni wapi ama ni Tarakaniti. Chitete.
Dorothy Naivasha, Waziri wa Elimu, Gatuzi la Tarakaniti County. I appreciate my brother from Embu. Embu is a big county and he's saying that we were also part of them at some point. But now it's devolution time. Tarakaniti is one of the smallest counties in this country. And we want to show people that devolution is working and that even the smallest of the counties can actually do this. So we are asking my brother from Embu, the other time we will support you. Please, vuka Tarakaniti.
Oh, wow. Hey, I'm telling you. Hey, okay. Okay, I can see. Now Garissa ikiongea, unajua tuko Garissa. Ndio hiyo government ya Garissa inaongea hapa sasa.
Last time when we voted in Turkana, Tarakaniti was competing with Garissa and we beat them to the game. But now I think I support Tarakaniti because of the following reason. Tarakaniti, the deputy president comes from Tarakaniti. Imagine being hosted by the deputy president. I think this conference will carry a lot of weight.
Okay.
So I support Tarakaniti for that.
Okay, now I'm in church. Shh. I'm in church. Listen. Sasa ni mimi niko in church.
Hello.
Okay, no, we have Tarakaniti have proposed themselves. They have been seconded. We have to give Embu also. Who is seconding Embu to host the conference? We need to have a seconder. Yes. Are you from a county government? We want government officers, please. Are you from a county government? Okay, you say your county, please.
Yeah, I'm called Ahmed, Deputy Director, Garissa County, Early Childhood.
Oh, wow.
What I'm saying, I support Embu. Embu is an old, compared to Tarakaniti. It's the headquarters of Eastern Province. So that is where I propose we should go.
Thank you. So that is enough. We have a proposer and a seconder for each. We are fair. We have a proposer, and the good thing, all of them are from Garissa. Sindio, wenye wame second. Situko kwao. So, ndio wasitufungie njia, unajua? Usuri wametoka huko. Hakuna mwenye atatufungia njia because ni wao wame second. So this is how I want to go about it. Can I have 3 niwe na watu karani watatu. Mmoja asimame hapa, utahesabu bare. Mwingine asimame hapa, atahesabu hapa. Wewe kuja simama hapa mtiani. Mimi nimeishi Okay, wewe simama utahesabu. Utahesabu huko. Wewe simama hapa. Utahesabu bare. Nani atahesabu hapa? Very good. Okay. Oh, ninaambiwa another thing. Hey, leaguing. Nimeambiwa kuna leaguing inaweza fanyika. So nimeambiwa karani moja ansia hapa kuhesabu kwenda nyuma na mwingine akue para akihesabu kukucha ndio watuambie hii. Kama akisema mmoja ni 10 na mwingine aseme ni 20, tutauliza 20 ilitoka wapi, si ndio? Ama we will counter check. So can I have another karani mwingine pale? Mwingine huko nyuma? Okay, watu wa kamera mkae chini. Kila mtu wa kamera akae chini. So, Nedias, are you counting? Na nani ni mwingine?
Fred, Noella as well.
Where is Fred? Judith yako hapa. Na
Judith
Fred.
is.
Sasa hapo mko wangapi? Kaa hiyo sasa ndio rigging imeanza.
Prof, there's a question there.
Wacha tusiende hivyo, tusianze kuhesabu. Hata sisi I will help ni tukianza kuhesabu hapa nitaangalia. Wacha tu tuhesabu. So we have to choice Nyamansa. Nyamansa sasa tuhesabu upige kura. We have somebody there. Judith, Fred and Noella, they will count this way.
Is it possible to give the counties chance to build a consensus? Sorry, we can ask the two counties to build a consensus, Prof. Wakutane chini ya miti hapa.
Hawatakubaliana, ula ataona hapo peke yake. Okay. So, okay. Colleagues, tusiharibu conference na vile tumekaa vizuri. So, we have Tharaka-Nithi and we have Embu. So, I want to see those who are voting for Tharaka-Nithi. Inua mikono na usirudishe mkono chini. Only one hand. Okay. Okay, hebu simama. Okay. So can we count? Hebu count and give me the numbers. Count and give me the numbers. Nipe hii kitabu dada. Sasa ni yeye unaambia ama ni mimi? Hapana, you want to give me na yeye. This is row 1. This is row
katikati middle. Tharaka-Nithi 16.
Count again. What an 11. Okay.
Prof, use your microphone. Prof, use your microphone.
Please, I want the numbers. Mutiani nilete namba yako hapa. Na ule mwingine namba yako. So, wacha kuninyang'anya.
Francis.
So mmoja ameleta na mwingine. Hapa ni 11. Okay, thank you. You can sit down. Those who are supporting Embu, please. Hapana, hebu nihesabie, sio kusema ni Embu. Nihesabie, mnipe numbers.
Maybe the national government. I'm not voting at all.
I'm waiting for Judy and your colleague. Okay, you can sit.
Prof.
Andika mbele.
Okay. Oh, we have online participants. Online participants, can you project? Shh. Even last time we Machakos waki vote last time walikuwa online. They proposed wakiwa online. So can you project online? We see online you can write on your chart the count you are supporting. Are we able to see the charts? Na somebody to hesabie, please.
Judith is checking as well.
Wacha waweke. Judith, kama hakuna mtu unatuambia hakuna mtu.
Hakuna mtu.
There is, where are they? Wako wapi?
We have voted that.
Or you are voting?
Equal. There are quite a number of votes.
Okay, vote pass.
Please vote Tharaka Nithi.
It's there already. It's projected. The first one is Embu. The second one is Embu. The third vote is Embu. The fourth vote is Embu. The fifth vote is Tharaka Nithi. And the sixth vote is Embu.
So, online we have 5 Embu, 1 Tharaka Nithi. Sawa sawa.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. And as I mentioned, we have now grown. You know, I remember the second conference which was held at Kenyatta University, and we were, county governments said, county governments should host. And then we asked them who is going to host. Everybody kept quiet. Only Mombasa said county number 1. When we went to Siaya, there was some politics. I think Turkana had really done a pretty well job. And by the time we were voting, they had mobilized people. We went to Turkana. The director here, where is that director, ECD? They did a wonderful job of mobilizing people, lobbying and all that. And for the first time, I was surprised. You guys, you are serious? We want to go to Garissa. And for sure, you came. So here we are. So, looking at the votes, Tharaka Nithi has gotten 1 vote online and 58 votes from here, making it 59 votes. Give them a clap. Embu has gotten 5 votes online. And in here, they got 65 votes. From the votes, it looks like Embu has taken it all, and I'm sure, no wonder, the director who is the chair for the caucus is not here, and only one person, he must have done his job well. And you know what? He's graduating with his PhD on Friday. Tell him we are all coming to eat mbuzi. So, will as many of the opinion that we hold our 7th ECD stakeholders conference at Embu County say aye? Aye. With us, very good. With as many of the contrary opinion say nay? Nay. The ayes have it. So, colleagues, thank you so much. So, and that now will help us, the team that are working on the communique, because normally that is the last item that we do, so that we can have the communique to be read, because now we have the venue. But the beauty of this, Tarakaniti and Embu are just neighbors. I'm sure wengi tutarara Chuka town, wengine tukilala Embu, sindio? Yeah, so the next time, there is always a next time. Okay? Thank you so much. So, MC?
Makofi kwake. You know, I know it is very hard to do such a job, but asanteni sana for being great team players. Looking at the program, earlier on I had said there is a gentleman, Mr. Munaweza, who will be coming to talk to us about reflections, big idea summary, and most importantly, the communique launch. So, welcome a coffee pamoja for the gentleman and his team who've been working all night for the last 3 days to put together a summary of what we have been discussing in the plenaries, in the breakaway rooms, as well as each and every keynote that has been delivered, whether here physically or virtually. Mr. Munaweza, karibu.
Thank you very much. Are we on? You can hear me clearly? Thank you, thank you. Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. And thank you for being with us over the past 3 days. We will summarize the deliberations. It is the work of many hands. And I want to say thank you to the team that made this possible. We have a communique, and I believe there will be a copy also on the screen that summarizes what we have discussed. And we will also have, for the first time, an advocacy version of it so that we can run with it for advocacy purposes. I just want to run through it. The 6th National Early Childhood Development Stakeholders Conference 2025, theme promoting transformative systemic change in a child's ecosystem, 15th to 17th July 2025. We, the 1,165 delegates from 24 counties in Kenya, 6 countries and over 56 organizations, comprising government officials, United Nations agencies, civil society, philanthropists, donors, and academia, all convening for the 6th National Early Childhood Development Stakeholders Conference, held from 15th to 17th July 2025 at Palm Oasis, Garissa County, Kenya, themed Promoting Transformative Systemic Change in a Child's Ecosystem. This conference celebrates and applauds the ECD Network for Kenya on its 10-year anniversary for pioneering and galvanizing collective, multi-sectoral action on behalf of Kenya's youngest children. The conference celebrates the establishment of a State Department for Children's Services under the Ministry of Gender, Culture, and Children's Services by the Executive Order Number 1 of 2025. The conference acknowledges that at the county level, momentum is accelerating with improving investment in integrated ECD services, improved implementation, and effectiveness. The 6th National ECD Stakeholders Conference acknowledges that challenges persist, notably in childcare for children 0 to 3 years, the education and learning for young children, children in emergencies, for children with disabilities, and those experiencing violence. In addition, regional inequalities and shortcomings persist. In the Frontier Counties Development Council, their 2025 baseline survey report shows that in the 10 counties, 1 in 8 children are not achieving developmental milestones. Only 9.1 households in the region have adequate dietary diversity, and 78% of households experience food insecurity. The delegates note that ECD targeted spending focusing on children aged 0 to 5 years significantly reduces child poverty from 45 to 30% in 4 years, accompanied by large social benefits. However, based on UNICEF findings, ECD spending in Kenya stands at only $81 per child, far below the regional average of $138. They note the need to ring-fence ECD funding within county and national budgets with supporting ECD annexes and performance-linked disbursement models. The Garissa call for action. Building on this conference's proceedings, we make the following call to action. We urge all state, non-state actors, decision makers, and stakeholders at county and national levels to ensure that no child is left behind and adopt a child-centered approach to policy, governance, practice, and accountability. In doing so, the Integrated Early Childhood Development Policy and the Children's Act 2022 should be the reference points informing activities, services, and provision at all levels of government with governmental oversight. We call for the mainstreaming of a multi-sectoral, whole-of-society approach for inclusive, community-based, culturally contextualized child development initiatives to enable vulnerable children, including children with disabilities, those accompanying their mothers to prison, those in refugee camps, informal settlements, emergencies, rural communities, and other marginalized settings to achieve equitable childcare services to grow and develop to their full potential. The following are the substantive policy and action-oriented recommendations made at this conference. 1, under sustaining early childhood development initiatives, uphold the duty of county governments in the delivery of integrated ECD services in the context of guidelines and policies established at the national level in a whole-of-government approach, fulfilling constitutional obligations in upholding the rights of children in Kenya, ensuring pregnant mothers and children have a good start in life. Build political will and dedicated investment for children at the county and national level by utilizing existing participatory processes, government systems, political leadership, and the first spouses as ECD champions. Focus on community level, culturally contextualized interventions, and invest in the capacity of families to provide nurturing care, positive discipline, and early interventions. Secondly, under strengthening early childhood development systems, strengthen food systems by rebalancing nutrition financing to increase allocations to high-impact, nutrition-specific programs such as maternal and child nutrition services, supplementation, treatment of acute malnutrition, and school meals, especially at the county level. Nutrition-specific investments comprise just 10.5% of total nutrition-related spending and approximately 1.1% of county budgets despite their direct impact on nutrition, based on the UNICEF findings. Align child protection with ECD multi-sectoral approach and counties to develop child protection systems. Institutionalize safeguarding at all levels of the community and institutions. Strengthen early learning systems and structures through integration of play-based learning, curriculum implementation, and domestication of policies by counties. Appoint and empower county ECD commissioners to ensure localized oversight and intersectoral coordination. mainstream and harness technology for improved ECD outcomes, strengthen data systems and the use of data to establish unit costs, inform investments, decisions, and monitor performance, institutionalize citizen-led scorecards, county nutrition investment scorecards, and feedback mechanisms to track delivery gaps, foster transparency, and promote citizen engagement. Thirdly, under equity, diversity, and inclusivity in the implementation of nurturing care, avail and facilitate adoption and application of Ministry of Education models on integration of competing cultural early learning practices with formal ECDE to eliminate delayed school entry and transition for children in pastoral communities, building on the science of ECD to maximize child development in the first 1,000 days and the subsequent 3,000 days, that is age 0 to 8, when brain development is most rapid and the foundation of an individual's skills and capabilities is laid. Empower through capacity building and training the ECD workforce, including parents and caregivers, to address the need for early detection, screening, and support of children with disabilities, including children with extraordinary talent. Fourth, under climate resilient models in early childhood development, build resilient systems to ensure that they are adaptable and quickly respond to the needs of children in the context of climate shocks by strengthening behavioral change, early warning systems that put the needs of children and pregnant mothers at the center, establishing climate resilient infrastructure, and promoting community-led climate action. Train children and facilitate their participation in climate-smart practices, including ECD interventions, in climate funding, and in the financing of locally led climate action. Fifth, the 7th biennial National ECD Stakeholders Conference will be held in Embu County in 2027. Endorsed on the 17th day of July 2025 at the 6th National ECD Stakeholders Conference held at Palm Oasis, Garissa County, Kenya. To formalize that, if you are in agreement, we'll all say aye. All those who say that this formally captures what we have discussed, aloud aye. I didn't hear that loud enough. All those who say that this adequately captures what we discussed during this conference, say aloud aye. Aye. Those of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Thank you very much for the opportunity to do so. An advocacy version will be shared with you. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you.
Makofi tena to Mr. Munaweza and the team. Let me share what actually it means to have a one-pager document on the third day. This is what it means. It means a scientific team sitting down for 2 years to plan thematic places that we will place all our discussions and innovations. It means a team of vibrant men and women seated down at night, typing each and every of your work to represent all the remarks you have had, the deliberations you have shared, and the innovative ideas you discussed about, whether it was in the rooms, at the breakaway, or here at the main hall. So nikisema makofi tena, it is to recognize. He stands on behalf of a team of people, men and women umewaona na laptops, na ujui kenye wanafanya, they're just typing all the time, running up and down with backpacks to make sure they're seated in the room fast, and they're complaining about the distance so that you and your work can be represented correctly. So once again, makofi kwa Mr. Munaweza and his team. And if you doubted that, Dencast has a small documentary to represent all of us and show you nani amesema I, who has been with us since the very beginning. Dencast, this is your moment. Watch what it has been for the last 3 days. Mpaka wa leo.